For more on the summit, joining us now is Jia Xiudong. He's a senior fellow of the China Institute of International Studies in Beijing. Welcome back to the broadcast. How will China help revitalize the regional economy in the East Asian region with the Belt and Road Initiative and also AIIB?
Yes, there are several things that China is doing to try to revitalize the economy in the region. First and foremost, of course, domestically, China is transforming its economy and now taking a lot of measures to reform its mode of production, its economy, so that it can maintain its role as an engine for regional growth. Secondly, it's working bilaterally and regionally with other parties in the region, especially on free trade arrangements. For example, now China is talking with ASEAN countries to upgrade its FTA with Southeast Asian nations, and also working with Korea, Japan to seek a free trade arrangement between ASEAN and the three countries, and also RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. And thirdly, China is providing more public goods, such as the AIIB and the One Belt, One Road initiatives that you just mentioned. Through these kind of initiatives, China is trying to help these countries improve their connectivity, infrastructure, and try to identify key areas of mutual interest and concerns, and to seek areas where they can work together to promote the regional economic growth.
Jia, let's talk about terrorism. What's going on in Brussels right now, Paris, obviously. How can China and ASEAN work together in fighting terrorism?
Yes, both China and ASEAN countries are facing challenges and threats of terrorism. And there have been a lot of cases of terrorist attacks against China and some ASEAN countries. And first of all, I think that the two sides should improve their mechanisms of cooperation. Of course, they have some mechanisms of collaboration in place, like the newly established meeting of security ministers, but they have to improve and enhance their regime. Secondly, they should improve their intelligence sharing and collect information about terrorism, exchange information on that, and also try to cut the financing channels of terrorism. So there are a lot of things they can do together to fight against terrorism together.
Jia, let's talk about the South China Sea dispute. As you know, China has been more emphatic than ever about its sovereignty in the South China Sea, but there are, a total of 4 nations claiming sovereignty here. How can ASEAN and China work to solve this dispute?
Yes, in the South China Sea, there is no panacea to the issue, which has been outstanding for dozens of for several decades. And on the sovereignty issue, China maintains that the related parties, directly related parties, should seek a peaceful solution to that. And for the issue of peace and stability in the region, China and ASEAN countries should follow the declaration on the conduct of parties in the South China Sea and work towards a code of conduct. And no parties should take any measure that may lead to tensions. And for countries beyond the region, including the United States and Japan and India and other countries, they should respect and support the efforts of China and ASEAN countries to seek a peaceful solution and to maintain peace and stability. And for the issue of freedom of navigation, actually, there has never been any problem of freedom of navigation. So when countries exercise their rights to the freedom of navigation, they should respect the sovereignty of China and not take any action that may jeopardize and complicate the situation in the South China Sea. So it takes the joint efforts of China, ASEAN countries, and those beyond the region actually to work together.
Well, Well, Jia Xiudong, we certainly appreciate your input on these very important issues. Thank you, joining us live from Beijing.